So, hello and welcome. This is Let's Talk Mecha, where I'm used to saying we. Normally I have a co-host, but he's currently babysitting dogs up in North Dallas, so not here today. But so Let's Talk Mecha is essentially just go through various mech anime, just from different genre, different types, different. Basically, the idea was made with the intent of we want to show people who aren't into mech anime or who think mech anime is just the stereotypical the giant robot anime, that there's more to it than just the giant robot military stuff. And that's kind of how this panel started. Now it's kind of more turned into a showcase of like different shows from over the eras to kind of give a more broad view of what the genre really has entailed. And with that, first of all, shameless plug. This is me on Instagram, convoy_ch. I do figure photography, art, anything really I feel like doing, I just upload it on there. And then, so, starting off with mech anime, popular misconceptions that we have. And this is a lot of reasons why. Is it not going? Why isn't it going? It's stuck on the first stop. There you go. Okay, so like I said, my social medias, convoy_ch on Instagram. Like I said, I do art and all that fun stuff. I do really whatever I feel like doing that day. So, popular misconceptions in mech anime. The first one is, and this is a lot of what people complain about, it focuses on robots, not characters. So, the fun fact about like 90% of most mech anime is they are inanimate objects that have no actual personality. So really they're no different in tanks or cars or anything. Therefore they have no character. The idea that it focuses on them, like yes, they focus on them, but if you actually watch, say, almost any, let's say Gundam for instance, it's one episode of them fighting and then 2 episodes of politics of them talking about the fight, what ramifications the fight has done to the politics of the world, and then we go back to, we gotta fight again. That's really how, it's a lot of talking. There's a lot of talking in these shows. A lot of people talking to each other, a lot of drama, it's very much these are real character driven shows. Designed to sell toys, that is true to a point. Mech anime, for the most part at the beginning, always sold the toy of the hero. You always got the main hero, but you rarely got the villain. And I use that as an example because it's like, if it's meant to sell the toys, which it is, but if it's meant to really sell the toys, how come we're only getting the hero and not the villain? What's the hero supposed to fight against when you're playing with the toy at home? So that's kind of like my defense on it. Nowadays, of course, everything's got a toy, everything's got a figure, everything's got a model, but still a lot of like more popular, obscure ones don't have anything. So that's kind of where that's at. All giant robots are the same. This is another generalization where yes, they are, but no, they're not. There's whole different breakdowns of them, designs, cues, all sorts of fun stuff. So, well, that is true, that is also not true. Genre is dead. So at a time, this was actually true. There's a time where there really wasn't much in the genre. Honestly, even nowadays, if you go through like any current anime scheduling, there really isn't much for, oh hey, here's what's going on now, here's the new stuff. Mech anime isn't always there, but every now and then we'll get one that pops in. Most recently, from what I've understood, the anime Mobile Suit Gundam G-Flux that really took off from what I've understood. A lot of people were watching who don't normally watch Gundam. And same with Gundam Witch from Mercury. That one really took off too. And then if you go back even a couple of years before that, Darling in the Franxx was a Mecha anime, and that exploded. That was everywhere for a while. Probably not for the reasons people would want to say, but it was definitely everywhere for a while. So, while the genre isn't as prevalent as it was, say, in the 80s and the 90s, it's still around. So, breakdown. These aren't official, these are just me and my friends' categories of how we kind of break down how robots work in these animes. So you have the super robots, which are essentially if you believe in yourself and you have the willpower and you know you can win this. Your robot gets the power from your will, and now you are invincible, and you can do super power moves that break the laws of physics. Real robots are more or less, they're grounded in reality. They need maintenance, they need repairs, they break down. If they take too much damage, the thing will never see the light of day again because now it's inoperable. This is mostly like grounded more in Gundam and shows like that, where if it's more militaristic, it's going to be a real robot. If it's more kind of lone soul phone guy and robot or something, or more fanciful world, it's going to be a super robot. Mixed is where they kind of take elements from both, where the robot is grounded in reality, but because the pilot has their whatever plot device on them, it makes the robot have superhuman strength or super abilities that it shouldn't have. So some shows do mix the genres. And with that, we're going to go ahead and dive into a couple shows. Yes, what's up?
So where would you put Voltron or Beast King Go Lion, the original one, in that mix?
I would put them, I want to say in Super Robot, but I do know there are, and that's kind of the weird thing, even like for Monzinger, I would say Super Robot, which it technically is, but even Monzinger has moments where they need prep time and repairs. I would still say put them in Super for the sake of, and now correct me if I'm wrong, but I kind of remember there was an episode where the villain's like, you know what, forget the rules, I'm going to attack you while you're combining. And they try to attack Voltron while they're combining, and they have a magical shield around them that prevents them from being attacked while they're combining. So that's the only reason I consider like Voltron Go Lion pure super robot, just because it has that magic shield right at that instant.
Well, don't forget all the magic that King Alfor was throwing at him too to basically protect him.
So it's not in this panel. I didn't put it in here. But there was actually an anime called Knights in Magic, which does have magic, but they treat it in a very realistic way where, oh no, we're out of mana. Oh no, the engines on this thing burned out. Oh no, we need to repair, we need to redesign, it's a very it's an engineering's fantasy world. But they treat magic as no different than how we treat fossil fuels or mechanical parts and stuff. So, I guess on the one hand you have magic being the mystical element, but then on the other hand you have magic's no different than petroleum. So, yeah.
Good episode, good series. It was.
Oh no,
it was only 13 episodes. I was hoping for more.
Yeah, they even tease more at the end too when we don't get it. Okay, so with that we're gonna start off with so we go through different shows, and the first one we're going to hit up is Megazone 2-3, or 23, I never know which way.
2-3.
2-3? Okay. So, Megazone 2-3 has 3 episodes. I swear it had 4. Maybe Mandela Effect, I don't know. Maybe I watched a weird cut of it.
Number 3 is divided.
Okay, it's divided? Okay, good, so I'm not crazy. So it has 3 different studios, and I'll say the 3 different studios all kind of just worked on the same project for the most part, which was Megazone 2-3. But they also differ into other, like Macross and Orgus and other very similar art style of the time shows. It aired in 1985. Okay, so there was a remake in the works, and I remember hearing about that for years, and I looked it up. I don't know what happened to the remake. It was called Megazone 2-3 XI. It's supposed to take place on a whole different colony, and it's supposed to come out in 2020. No idea what happened to it. It just is sitting there with a teaser trailer, and that's it. So, I don't know. I mean, it would have been cool to have it because I remember they were putting out a bunch of merch for the titular mech in for the motorcycle mech. I can't remember the Garland, but I don't know what happened to this series. I have no idea. It just stopped. This one is notable for being very adult content. It is a very adult series. The second episode in the OVA is very adult. Like, you do not want to watch this with your kids. It's that level of adult. With that in mind, too, if I recall, this was adapted into the Robotech movie, I believe, at some point, which was very heavily edited because of, again, the adult content. So imagine taking a movie that
It was edited because it had nothing to do with Robotech.
That too. But yeah, it's interesting. And it is actually currently available on Amazon Prime. So if you want to watch it there, definitely can. Although I don't know if it's dubbed or not. And so with that, I will play the trailer, which I find hilarious.
What if the entire world that we live in was being controlled from outside? What if everything was an illusion run by a computer?
It's manipulated us so skillfully that we'd never realize the truth. All of this so that except for an elite few, the populace would be blissfully living in an illusion of the perfect world. Or rather, the perfect prison.
Get ready to go back. Back to a time when everything was perfect. The music was hot, and the girls were hotter. And a guy with a cool bike could get laid all summer long. Unfortunately, the best of times never last.
Why, Mr. Nakagawa, you know that the company frowns on the borrowing of classified materials?
Since when did the company start sending out goons with handguns?
The target's name is Shogo Yahagi. We tracked him to Magura, but lost him in Abu Dhabi. It's just a few hours until sunrise. I want him found before then!
I don't think so, Copper!
Look at him!
Drop-kicked a cop car?
What is this? It's like we're at war.
If it becomes known that Bahamut is a computer that oversees this time period, the military's plans will be severely impaired.
What is the meaning of this? Are you mad?
Robot bike, don't fail me now!
The target is headed our way. Shoot to kill on sight. Come on out and surrender!
Radar's detected an enormous artificial construct approaching the ship's position.
In a world where nothing is real, there's nothing left to lose except your life. Get into the zone. Megazone 2-3.
So basically the plot is they all live in a pound picker.
It's the Matrix.
Yeah, pretty much. More physical than the Matrix per se, because they're actually living in it, and it's a whole big conspiracy where, at one point it's like, oh, I traveled abroad. No, in reality, you were knocked out, put into a computer, simulate you were abroad, and then put back out like 2 to 3 weeks later.
So the Matrix meets Total Recall.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. And then the whole sci-fi element where it turns out they're at war with a whole other colony, and then there's a big check-in station on the moon that just obliterates humanity, and it's a whole crazy mess of, all wrapped up in an idol anime, by the way, because of course it's an 80s, so it's an idol anime too.
Yeah, post Macross, got it.
Designed by the
Yeah.
creator of Minute from Macross.
Yes.
Yeah, that'll do it.
And that's actually a perfect segue, because now we're talking about Macross, but specifically Macross 7. And now there's a reason why, because I actually like Macross 7 a lot better than the original Macross.
You're right, it is the best one.
Yes. I just feel like it captures the energy of what Macross is a lot better than a lot of the others. Mostly because it is quite literally a hair metal band singing in the middle of a battlefield.
Painfully 90s.
Yes, painfully 90s. You have the love triangle, got multiple love triangles actually, which is insane. And then I feel like it really captures kind of the laid back energy that the original Macross did have at times, but it doesn't like go, it kind of just expands on that, but still tying it perfectly in with the overall plot of we are fighting space vampires. That is the show, they are fighting space vampires, which is, I really love it. And the music is fun. I really love the music in this because it's just such upbeat, fun music. And the fun fact is the lead singer, who is the Basara, the guy with the glasses who's the main character, his singing voice went on to become one of the singers in Jam Project. And I have a really fun story about that because one time at Christmas during New Year's, friend really hated Basara. She hated Basara so much. And then we're just channel surfing at grandparents, and they happened to hit the NHK during the New Year's special, and they just happened to have Jam Project singing, and then guess who just happened to go up on stage and started singing on a solo? It was Basara's Rie, and she was like, "We are at your grandma's house. How come? Why? Why? This is the furthest from the stuff. How? Why?" But no. So Macross 7 has 49 episodes, plus an OVA, plus a movie recap, plus a tribute episode done in Macross Frontier, which very much labels it as, hey, you remember the good old days when you were a teenager? That's how it feels watching the tribute episode in Frontier. This aired in 1994. Chronologically, this is the sequel to Macross Plus, which it makes sense if you watch Macross Plus, which has the very famous Hal from Malcolm in the Middle voicing the main character. A lot of the mechs and everything that are introduced in Macross Plus are mass produced in Macross 7. So it's definitely a linear thing. There is an official release by in North America by Nozumi, and supposedly you can watch this on Hulu.
Yeah, it's not good.
Nice. All right. Yeah. So, and then the directors who worked on this did work on various things, all from Naruto to Gundam to a lot of things, really. So, and if you're curious, this takes place about 30 some odd years after the original Macross. So, there are if you do watch the original characters, there are some that tie over, but for the most part, it's a whole new cast. And that's what I like about Macross. It's mostly a whole new cast each time, so you don't really feel like you have to know. It's cool if you do, but you really don't have to, if that makes sense. And so here's a clip just to show you how insane Macross 7 can be. And I'm just going to say this out of context because it's just an insane show.
物
できない
フロントデビルの歌が
すごいぞ歌エネルギーは。
ミレーヌの思いが通じたのね。
ミレーヌさん。
That was fucking dope.
So, yeah, Macross 7 is definitely an over-the-top anime. It is just over the top. You have everywhere from the transforming mechs, which turn into fighter jets in space, to massive colony ships, from just a traditional sci-fi colony ship to one of them is literally a flying big top in space. Like literally, it is just an actual big top.
That's how you get gravity.
Alien technology at this point.
Yes, actually.
To a whole space biker game that they literally ride their motorcycles in space. A flower girl who can't deliver her flowers because that's the ongoing joke. Every time she tries to deliver them, the main character somehow mess it up. It's a wild show. It's definitely
Flower girl, best girl.
The flower girl is the best girl. Yes, she is. No, it's definitely a fun, wild show, and I would really recommend it. Just not as someone trying to get people under my cross, but just as here's how over the top mech anime can really go. If you really want to see it go over the top.
I was hoping it'd be the speaker pod gamma clip.
I wanted to do that one, but I wanted to show off the giant kaiju. But they fine.
Fair.
As well as the infamous scene where they are about to fly into a sun and their ship is broken. And so the only two who can stop them are the guy in the black Valkyrie and the black jet and the guy in the red jet Basra. And as the commander's telling them how to fix it, he's just singing in her face the whole time. He's just straight up just singing back at her. And they're like, you're all people about to fly into a sun. But yeah, so Macross 7, definitely good. It is followed up by Macross Frontier, which is the next series in the chronological timeline. That one is more traditional idol based, as in you have female singer and then another one, and that's more traditional love triangle. From what I've understood too, a lot of the general fandom actually prefers Frontier. And then after that, we get Delta, and no one really talks about Delta, as I've noticed. Apparently Delta isn't that good.
I tried to watch it. You can't.
It has a good first 14 episodes.
Yeah. So
the movies are really good though. Just watch the movies instead.
The first 30 is great.
I recommend 7.
The last 5 episodes are just...
I recommend 7. So from this, we go on to another one. Now this is going to be polar opposite of this anime in every way, shape, or form.
We get some real robot?
Actually, yes.
Yeah! You gonna show us bottoms?
What do you mean? This is real robot too.
Ryback. Have y'all ever heard of this anime?
No.
You've all heard of it. Okay, so Ryback is a very down-to-earth anime. The mech is a motorcycle that turns more into an exosuit kind of thing, but you're still technically riding on it, so it still counts as a mech, at least in my view of it. So essentially, Ryback follows a story of a ballerina who broke her ankle and she can no longer be a ballerina. But because she's really good at balance, she can ride the extremely unstable and very fast Fuego, which is the red motorcycle right here, that no one else can ride because she's good at balancing. And it goes from race tournaments to anti-government protesting and backdoor government politics. Yeah, it kind of goes in interesting directions. But this is definitely it's a good show. I enjoyed it. I really liked it. It's, again, don't expect over the topness. And this one is literally a character-driven show. At the end of the day, this is literally the most character-driven show we'll have. And it's definitely of the era too, of like since 2009. It's of the era, kind of like that Full Metal Panic feel to it, where it's more of the serious episodes of Full Metal Panic. That's how it feels sometimes. But it's definitely good. I recently found out that the series has been discontinued for physical copies. Because I was curious, but I kind of wanted to get it again. But it's still streaming on Crunchyroll in English dub too, so if y'all want to check it out, go for it. I have a clip for it. Oh, and the original manga author for this series, if you ever read Adam the Beginning, they worked on that. So it's like the Astro Boy prequel. That's what they worked on. So good. Oh, Funimation.
Rin, let's just stop. I'm sure they'll understand if we explain. Okay, Rin?
You might want to jump.
Shoko, hold on and do not let go!
I meant to bump into you earlier, but I forgot to ask.
There it is again. That light.
The chopper has been destroyed. Ladies and gentlemen, there's been some kind of explosion. The ride back barely escaped the blast, literally soaring.
Rin, no!
What the heck is she doing?
So, a lot of the show, I guess minor spoilers on the most part, because basically, because she was there, she becomes a symbol of protest, and it just kind of goes from there. It's a snowball effect. Literally, you just happen to be there, so guess what? It snowball effects into this crazy, not crazy per se, but very, like I said, very down to earth. But it's definitely a good watch if you want something very calming, very to the point, not out there, not insane, just good show to watch. I realized just looking at the mech though, I kind of wonder if I need to look up who the mech designer was, because I want to know if they designed the ship for Outlaw Star. Because the arms sort of makes me think of like the grappler ship arms on the Outlaw Star. So like, wait, was that the same designer? So we're gonna go from a nice ballerina show to something completely not this. Vandred. Have anyone ever heard of Vandred?
Oh yeah.
I think I've heard the name.
Has anyone seen it? You've seen it? Okay. So right off the bat, Vandred is a fan service anime. Right off the bat, it is all about everything fan service. Because that's what this show is. It, in one regards, though, you can say it is a precursor to what Darling the Franxx was trying to push as a message, because it's the same gimmick almost, where you have, so the world is, so first that it takes place in space, and I guess at some point something happened in human history where all the men live on this planet and all the women live on this planet, and they don't talk to each other ever, because that's just how it is. And then the men think the women are aliens, and the women think the men are the aliens. And they have their own specialized machines, because it's a mech anime. And then they discover, hey, wait a minute. There are docking ports on our machines. And they can combine. And they make the machines stronger. I wonder why that's the thing.
So what you're saying is men went to Jupiter to get more stupider.
Yes, actually.
Excellent.
No, that is actually it is. That's exactly. And then women's society is like this utopian society where everything works perfect. But the men's society is like we live on a planet where everything's just rock huts and broken machines. Pretty more or less. But what I did find out behind the scenes though was this anime was actually designed, and this is one of those animes where they make all the material at once per se. So the manga and the visual and the manga and the light novels were made in tandem with the anime itself. And it was all made by the same guy for the most part. The director of this anime, he did pretty much everything behind the scenes to make this anime happen. So really, whichever version of this show you watch, you're getting like the best of it, honestly. I will say too, again, heavy fan service show, but it's the same message with Downing Fights being men and women can get together, and that's how things work. As my friend would put it, this is one of those anime that is pushing, please go out and date.
Shinzo Abe.
Yes, it's a Shinzo Abe anime, as my friend would say. There is a recap film, so if you don't want to watch the 13 episodes, and then there's a season 2 of 13 episodes. So it's definitely interesting show all in all. Do forgive me for the trailer because this is also a Funimation trailer from back when they did the very interesting Funimation trailers.
For years, men lived in fear, terrorized by wretched creatures known as women. With the gender wars raging on, Hibiki went in search of adventure. What he found changed his world. He'd always believed females were monsters, but they weren't. They were kinda cute. Hibiki and his comrades are trapped in space and surrounded by women. They try to play it cool, but they just can't look away, or keep from awkwardly bumping into them, or tripping over their tongues and falling into the arms of the enemy. It's so hard to concentrate around these girls, but they must stay focused. Space is full of enemies, more powerful than anything they've ever seen. The girls are bad, but the enemies are worse. To survive, they're gonna have to fly to a cockpit and join forces against a deadly common foe. Get a jump on the action by watching online at Funimation.com/Vandread.
Fuck, I'm sold.
Yeah, that really is.
Every ecchi trope in the book.
Honestly, yes, that's the show. It's every trope. All of them, all done at once. But like I said, when we made these panels originally, we were trying to go through the different genres, and this was one of the genres that a friend wanted to really push. Not because he just wanted it as a joke in there, and so it kind of just stuck in there. Sure. So our other joke we tried to do too was the anime doozy box, not anime per se, but the original Gundam attempt. And the one year we actually did that in the panel for Ushicon, the HDMI cable fried, and we couldn't do it.
It was divine intervention.
Yeah, and so we're never doing doozy bots ever again because it's obviously cursed. Because that was gonna be our year's Gundam entry. Was like, because we do like Gundam gets its own entry in this panel because Gundam might as well be its own genre. The doozy bots cursed it. So now our joke one is Vandread because we're scared to do doozy bots ever again. Because of that our whole panel was shocked. We had to ad-lib the whole panel.
You lost the picture.
Oh no, it's on.
That's resupplied.
No, we lost everything that year, and we're like, crap. So yeah, and it was weird because like everything was fine. We got one panel done. We did the Starship Trooper anime, and then right after that, okay, now you remember Gundam. What happened to the picture? What's going on? What? Oh. Okay, well, you know what? Forget it. Panel's dead. Let's just we're just talking about Mecha just because. But that's actually was a segue because now we're going to talk about Gundam. Okay, so we tried to do a different Gundam thing for a while. The last few years, we've done the main gun, like the latest Gundam. Last year we did G-Quax. The year before we did Richard Mercury. One time we did actually a Stardust Memory because a friend really wanted to talk about Stardust Memory because he just watched Danger Zone.
Have you done Thunderbolt?
We have not done Thunderbolt yet.
Wow.
But there's a reason why I wanted to stick to, I did Double O. Because I'm biased and I really love Double O.
It has the funniest quote in all of Gundam.
Yes, it is. There's actually a lot of funny stuff in this anime. One of the villains is straight up weeboo, where after he gets his butt kicked, he decides, you know what, I'm done with America. And he goes to Japan and he comes back as Mr. Bushido, and he wears a samurai helmet with the Oni mask, and he's all edgy, like, I don't work for a team anymore.
I forgot about that.
And I'm like, bruh, he's like the perfect American soldier. He's an ace pilot in in the Union forces. Then he decides, I'm Japanese now. It's that phase that every weeb goes through.
He names his swords Howard and Arrow.
Yes, he names his swords after his fallen comrades too. I'm like, dude. And at the point, I think at one of the points, the Gundam Pod's like, dude, just let it go, man. Like, what's wrong with you? But no, the other reason why is, so Gundam has been going on for 40 odd years now. Pushing
too long.
Yeah, it's been going on forever. Universal Century, which is the main Gundam timeline, has like 10, 20 entries in its timeline. So technically you can pick it up whenever you want, but if you really want the full picture to understand what the hell's going on, you need to start back at the beginning or start with Mobile Suit Gundam The Origin, and then so you go from crisp new animation to 1979 animation.
Oh yeah.
Which is a very fun drawing experience. So you go from, wow, that looks really good, to how come these characters are off model every 2 seconds?
Those 3 frames are the same. What happened?
Yes. But that's why, so in Gundam though, after Victory Gundam in like the 1990s, or the early 90s, Universal Century was essentially done. So they started to create alternate centuries, alternate timelines.
There's like 20 of them.
There's like 20 of them, but they're all separate individual shows. So, which means this particular one is its own continuity. It has nothing to do with anything else outside of its own related material. So, Mobile Suit Gundam 00, it's 24 episodes. It has 2 seasons, so it's more 48 episodes. It has a movie, which is a very unique take on Gundam. I don't want to spoil anything about the movie. But it's a very unique, very, very unique take. It's one of the few Gundam series that actually deal with this matter. And that's all I'm going to say about this. And then it has some manga too, which at the time when it came out, you can actually find most of the side stories here in the US before Bandai Entertainment decided to pull the plug here in the US. So, but for the most part, it's there. And then, according to production notes, this was the first Gundam series made in HD. So at the time, while it was still going in digital, it was still standard depth. This is the first HD Gundam series. And a fun fact too. So the character designer who made 00 is also known for the character designer from a manga called Loveless, which is a okay, I hope I don't get it mixed up. It's a yaoi.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah, it's a yaoi. It's yaoi.
That makes so much sense.
And as you go through 00, specifically the guy in the purple here, it starts making a lot more sense. Like, wait a minute.
I'll spoil it somewhat. One of those characters cross-dresses, I'm not saying which one.
So, because I know Frank can be like, hey, look, he one time gave here, look at this. Tell me what's familiar with it. Well, hey, wait, these look like the 00. Oh my god, what did you give me? So Gundam 00 actually takes place in our timeline. So the way Gundam works is they all take place in their new era. Humanity has went to space, so therefore we decided to no longer do current era or AD or whatever they call it. It is Universal Century or After Colony or Fighting Century or Correct Century. It's something that they renamed the calendar. in Mobile Suit Gundam 00, it is just it is our timeline. And that's another reason why I like this show, because the major issue with this show is it takes place right after humanity finally solved the energy crisis. And they solve it with solar power generators that are massive solar elevators that just come off the Earth's surface and just float around the atmosphere, and they gather solar energy. And that's how humanity does it. That's how we solve the energy crisis. And we think that's it. We did it. We achieved world peace. No, we didn't. Humans are still humans. So now the world has organized into 3 parties: the Union, the AEU, and the Human Reform League, aka North America, Europe, and China. And that's how it's been divided. Oh, the Human Reform League is Asia. Yes, it's Asia. Human Reform League's Asia. Except Japan. Japan is actually part of the Union in this timeline, which I find very interesting. So in Gundam 00, technically Japan's part of America.
Greatest ally since 1945.
Yes. So it's an uneasy peace. Humanity it's like a massive Cold War at this point. Everyone's preparing for a war that may or may not happen. And then a third party comes in. A privately armed group called Celestial Being just shows up out of nowhere in their Gundams, who have these things called GN drives that make them automatically more powerful than anything on the planet, and they just start eradicating war. If that's a military base, we blow it up. If that's a politician who wants to do war, hey, guess what? They're down. There's a whole episode where they actually go to South America and just start blowing up drug cartels. I'm not kidding. The guy is literally in his Gundam and he's like, come on, stop. I'm going to have to pretend I'm not missing anymore, as he's trying to get them to leave the base. He's just shooting them with pistols until they get out. They're like, okay, that happened. So yeah, no, Gundam 00 is a very unique show. I will say this though, the more realistic political takes do stop about halfway through season 1. I want to say for a couple reasons. One of my theories is someone at Bandai or Sunrise like, okay, dude, chill with the political takes. Remember this is a Gundam show. We need it to sell toys. Please get back to making the Gundam story. Okay?
Chill with the politics. It's a Gundam show. What?
Huh? Well, because it was because I remember they actually based it off of, they had no idea what to do. It's like, let's turn on the news and see what's in the news today. So that's an episode.
Oh, that's how.
And that's what they did. They actually went through and just watched the news like, the Middle East is big right now. How do we put that in a Gundam series?
Like, wait a minute, this seems familiar.
No, but they actually did. The whole lot of episodes actually take place in the Middle East.
Yeah, they do.
Like, legitimately, it's child soldiers, it is oil depletion, it is...
But they solved the energy crisis, so who cares? they found a way.
They found it. But yeah, so this is the trailer for Gundam 00.
2307 AD. Earth's fossil fuels have been depleted. 3 groups of nations have created orbital elevators and a solar power generation system, giving humanity access to a nearly infinite source of energy. However, even in the 24th century, humanity is still unable to live together as one.
It's begun. A real battle, hallelujah. Just what you wanted.
At approximately 6 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, mobile suits launched missiles at the high orbital station in what is now thought to be a terrorist attack.
We have an update on the incident. JNN has just received a video message from an organization that claims it is responsible for preventing the attack and saving the station.
We call ourselves simply Celestial Beings. We are a private armed organization in possession of the mobile weapon Gundam.
Hey, we just picked a fight with the entire world. Do you know what that means, Setsuna?
Yeah. I know, because we're the Gundam Meisters of Celestial Being.
Well, that's double O. It's definitely, again, one of my more favorite of the shows. I think part of the reason too is it's a relatively small cast, all things considered, so they do give time to everyone to, even some of the minor characters do get some great character development. So I would say definitely check it out. It's if anyone wants to watch it there. And with that, we're going to, so how this one takes place in space, we're going to go to the opposite. So there's an anime, again, I really like this one a lot too. It takes place underground. It's about two pilots who they get in a mech and they go and they're fighting monsters, and it's about drilling and
it's a super robot. Like I'm gonna play 20 questions until we get to it.
Yeah. So okay. So
it's not drilling. So get a robot, right?
Yeah. So you'll know which anime I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. So we're going to talk about Sakugan here. So this anime. Yes, on the surface, it looks almost like a bootleg Gurren Lagann, but it's not. It is about a father and daughter traveling because they're trying to find, the daughter is having this dream about going to this structure, and she really wants to know what it's about, and also doesn't help any other hometown get destroyed by monsters. The whole society lives underground. I don't know why they live underground. The anime actually never went past. Like, it's a 12-episode anime, so it really never got farther than, okay, we got the 12 episodes. A lot of the character designs are heavily borrowed from Little Witch Academia, if you ever watched that. There was one of the characters that almost looks exactly like one of the businessmen from Little Witch Academia, to the point where I'm like, hey, wait a minute, am I watching what's going on here? It's a really cute show. I highly recommend this one. It's a wholesome little father and daughter exploration, and I feel like you don't get a lot of like journey like that, and especially in Mecha anime, you don't really get stuff like that. It's also a kaiju-ish battle because hey, they fight giant rock monsters too. Very realistic anime. There hasn't really been, the only most super robot thing is the daughter can sometimes be a genius in their quote terms, so make the robot do stuff it kind of can't, but other than that, that's really about it. The mech side, all the robots can turn into like transforming ground vehicles and just drive around, and it's not anything fancy, they just kind of squat down and they have treads. So, but no, it's huge show. Okay, actually my notes right here. So the manga is also, the manga author who originated this worked on Little Witch Academia and Kimono Friends. So, okay, here. And with that, here is the trailer.
私はマーカーになってあの景色を見に行くんだ。
マーカーは己のここを信じて旅するもんだ。
信じるべきなのはこれだろ。
俺の名はユーリ。悪人は許しちゃおけねっす。
メローロと申します。こちらの私物も募集となりますよ。
恋をするためとか、それに
かわいい。
今日もラビリンスを冒険していると思うけど気をつけてよね。
それくらいしなきゃこのコロニーは変わらねえ。
慣れ慣れしく呼ばないで。
いい加減飽きたっすよ。しかもここどこなんすか？
夢を見たのだ。ガガンバが死んでいた。私たちはただの親子じゃない。共に旅をするパートナーであり、対等な関係だ。
Hey, hey.
It's pretty good. It's all the comments for this show. I remember when it came out, were like, "Oh boy, I can't wait for them to go to space and fight like the literal black hole people or something." I'm like,
but it's not a trigger show.
It's not. I swear, if the manga they go to space, I'm gonna be like, "Hey, what's going on here?"
I remember watching Promare. It's like, I swear, aliens are involved in this one too, and of course.
That reminds me of when the Cyberpunk anime was coming out. A friend was trying to get me to really watch it. I'm like, I mean, it's cool. It's a trigger anime. No, it's really good. Yeah, it's a trigger anime. No, dude, you don't get it. They go to space. Yeah, it's a trigger anime.
Wait, the one that leads in that one though.
He's like, no, dude, listen, it's a trigger anime. I get it. There's nothing you can say that's going to change my mind. I know it's a trigger anime. Speaking of trigger, our next one and the last one we're going to go through is kind of the founding father to everything that his trigger has done. This is going way back to Gainax days. So essentially, the anime that kind of kickstarted them after their Daikon fun, a little 6-episode show called Gunbuster. And I just realized I didn't put a space between the 6 and the E. So this is 1988. This is a long time ago. It does have a sequel called Die Buster. I don't know when that's formatted. It is. I heard Die Buster's alright. I haven't actually watched Die Buster.
I liked it.
You liked it? Okay. I haven't watched it, but it's good. Does it hold the same tone as Gunbuster, or?
Yeah, kind of.
Kind of. It always looked more fully coolly to me, if that makes sense. Because the girl, she's not in the Mecha, so I got more fully energy of it than say Gunbuster's energy of being over the top mech. But yeah, no, a lot of tropes from Gainax honestly do kind of carry over. When I was watching this a while back, I was looking at some of the character designs, like, hey, wait a minute, the friend with the glasses, isn't that the friend from Little Witch Academia? Hold up a second. Are y'all just reusing character assets? Of course y'all are. Because everything just kind of flows together. This is a lot where their tropes come from. And really it's aliens come and it's time to fight the alien. That's really the show. Like, there's nothing much else to say for it. It's definitely a good show. And that would be here's the fight scene from the show.
合体しましょうお姉様あなたの6ヶ月この6ヶ月戦ってみせるわあなたのためにそれがあなたと同じ時を生きる唯一の方法なのねノリコ、エクセリオンは健在私たちの左下方にいるわお姉様、あれを使うわよくってよ合体したガンバスターをただのマシンと思わないでよコーチの心がこもってるんだからノリ敵機直上急降下北からも来るわ約3000放人間レーザーみんなの未来私たちの未来ガンバスターで作ってみせるその通りよだから邪魔しないでバスターミサイルノリコ離れて直営に入るわ反撃が来るわ 敵をこちらに引きつけるのよ。できるだけ多く、できるだけ遠くに。来るわ、集中砲火約2万。バスターシールド。そんなもので私たちがやられると思って。あと2000万キロ、それまで持てばいいわ。下も参ったわね。まさかこんなものもあったなんて思ってもみなかったわ。さすがね。でもコーチの作ったガンバスター甘く見ないでほしいわ。ダブルバスターこれだ。うわ
And that's pretty much it. So yeah, that's more or less the panel. Thank you for coming by. One joke I forgot to mention though about the Gunbuster that it's a big joke in the Gundam community is Gunbuster is a Zaku and Ideon from like 1980 is the gym because they're both the same design, but the head of Gunbuster has the mono eye. So the joke is Gunbuster is the Zaku equivalent of the Ideon. It's a whole design joke that is in the Gundam community about their. And I guess that may have been the point because they were fans of Tomino's work back then, Ideon and all that stuff. So I guess maybe that was the design philosophy. So instead of it looking like the mass-produced for the Federation and Gundam, let's make it look like the Zaku instead.
A super Zaku.
A super Zaku, yes.
Hideon is totally nothing like Gunbuster in the slightest.
Oh no, it is not. But the design of it, that's kind of the joke they make about it. But yeah. Well, thank you all for coming by, and that's really it.